I heard that you might have some footage that you might want some unshared footage that you might want to leak here on this interview today. Do you got something for us?
Just shut up! Stop fucking talking before I do something I regret. Please, just shut up.
I need more coins. I need limbs.
Welcome back, agents. Secret Agent Stash here. We are at GIA headquarters, and I just got intel that we have nabbed one of the hardest high-value targets that we've ever tried to capture here at the GIA, and we have finally got them into the box with a bonus today, and we're going to get all of your questions answered about Off the Grid. Please help me welcome to the channel the CEO and co-founder and technical director of Gunzilla Games, creators of Off the Grid, Vlad and Dmitry from the team. How's it going, guys?
Great to meet you. And thank you for inviting us.
Well, hey, you know what? It's invitation, nabbing you from the field. It's an interrogation, so I guess you could call it an invite, right? I mean, yeah, we've invited you down here for a little interrogation. You guys ready to answer all these questions? You look too happy about it.
Yeah, we're actually happy because we're very proud of the answers, and we're actually very excited to reveal lots of insights using the interview with you. And because we love your content, and we really believe that everything which you do with your heart.
That's right, mustache love.
This is very important for us. So should be an exciting.
Look, for those that don't know, Vlad Korolev, he is the CEO and co-founder at Gunzilla Games, makers of Off the Grid, and we have Dmitriy Markov, who is the technical director at Gunzilla Games too. This is the 1-2 hit combo right here, guys. So we're gonna get all the questions you've been looking for to be answered about Off the Grid. They're gonna be answered today. The first question. This might be the most important question of the interview. I need your answer on this. All right. Now, if you don't answer my questions, which one do you want to have first? We're gonna go blowtorch, or do you want the pliers? Which one are you choosing? Because if you don't answer my questions, I got to bring one of them out. So which one do you guys like better? Which one would you go first, huh?
I can say that one of the main reasons why I'm not doing this interview alone, because I want Dima to answer all of the uncomfortable questions. And
so we're going for Dima's nails first, is what you're saying? We're going for
don't touch nails. Don't touch nails.
No, you're going to answer the questions then, right? You're going to answer all the questions.
No, blowtorch.
Blowtorch. All right, man. Really, the blowtorch, man. That's brave. All right, let's go.
I mean, it's
cold
in here.
It's cold, right? He's like, it's already cold, man. I'll take the blowtorch. Okay, look. Now we have a lot of questions surrounding Off the Grid. You guys get asked these things all the time, and it's hard to answer these things. We understand because you guys are pioneering a lot of Web3 elements into mainstream gaming that we've never seen any other company able to actually do. But my first question here is the full official launch, which includes 150-player Battle Royale on the full map with 60-hour narrative campaign, all players on console or mainnet, and all access to Web3 elements, is that still scheduled to be fully released by the end of this year?
I'll probably start. Maybe Dima wants to add something. So yes, it's still scheduled, and it was always scheduled to be released by the end of this year.
Yeah.
Dima, do you want to add something?
Directly here, no. I do believe that we will go into details of each specific feature and what are we going to do in the next questions. I know that you will be interested in some of those answers, so we'll see.
Okay. So we do. So we know that for sure all these big main features that we've all been, kind of hooked on for Off the Grid, they are going to be launching the end of this year, which is great. We're going to dive a little bit more into those things because I think that's something that a lot of people have been a little afraid about. They see the pace of how things have been rolling out, and it's been great. Breakneck pace on a lot of things, but there's still many questions that are kind of left to be answered. Will it actually launch this year with all of those main elements? So it's great to hear that is in fact the case. Now, when will you as users be on mainnet? Will it all be at once, or is it going to be like a small group over time, like a stage thing like we've seen?
Yeah, I'll probably respond to this question. So we're planning to have the US users on the mainnet by the way, this is the first time when we're ready to reveal this date. It will be done by early December, and everything is on track. And we're really focused on ensuring a smooth rollout and I would say full compliance before the official go live and roll out. This is our major priority right now. Yeah.
Okay, so we do know that like December is we're going to see this. I mean, and because that kind of has to be right. So if we're looking at a full launch by the end of the year, we have to have all US users on mainnet before that. So makes sense, right?
Sure.
Okay. Great. I mean, I love to hear that. I think that's, obviously you have a large contingent of US players. I don't know what the percentage is, but I feel like it's a kind of a large.
I can tell you the majority of
yeah. What is it?
US.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, the majority.
Okay. Well, there you go. See, and that's a big step forward, right? When we look at the evolution of off the grid and fully realizing all the elements that the game incorporates, which is great.
Also, there's something what I would like to add that these users, they're the best performers for us because they have the highest retention rates among our player base. They have the best, most important metrics for us, like conversion to subscription to OTG Pro and many other important metrics for us. So we can't wait. We can wait for this moment, and we're waiting for it much more than anyone else, believe me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I don't know about that, actually. There's a lot of people out there that are just like, they're really just chomping at the bit. So it's good news to hear that is for sure going to be the case here. Now, kind of looking at what we've seen this month here in October, we had a big October update that just dropped. We had our first narrative in-game, in-match mission that dropped, right? I think people are loving it so far. Will we see more narrative missions dropped on us, or are we going to wait for full launch before we get, or is this just a one-off? Are we just getting a one-off right now? It's like a little carrot teaser, like, hey guys, it's a little carrot, take it. Oh, it's good, right? Tastes good. Yeah. Or are we going to get a little bit more before December?
Yeah, so our idea was to introduce, this was the prologue with Kill the Feed campaign, which our idea was to introduce the story, introduce the lore. Before that, we tried to do that with characters, with some additional narrative elements, but this is the first time we are adding something real to the game, something connected, which is dropping some ideas about who are the heroes, who are the villains, and maybe something else in the game and in the universe. As you said, that is all happening in PvP space inside the match. We are planning to continue doing that. Within the next several days, we are planning to release our last mission of the first campaign. So we have hidden that as a cliffhanger. And by the end of the year...
Yeah, Dima, you're... Okay, but it's fine.
Whatever.
Cliffhanger, yeah. I love it. He's like, we got a little hidden... No, whoa, you weren't supposed to say anything about that little hidden Easter egg, my friend. I love it. No, keep going. Come on.
Sure.
Get some more intel.
I know
the blowtorch. Remember the blowtorch, man.
Oh, give it to me.
I'm going to use it after.
Yeah. So next several days we are planning to drop last mission, and by the end of the year we are preparing a new massive update to the campaign as well. It will be everything will be done to a next level, and I hope you like it really.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that. So we are going to get a little bit more narrative mission love here before the actual full launch, which is great. I think that's a big driver, right? So you look at what brings players back. Players who have played before and they're like, yeah, I played OTG. Yeah, there's been a lot of changes. Yeah, we're in early access. What brings them back? I mean, that'll be one of the big drivers. Man, I want to go play that narrative campaign. I want that story. And the fact that you guys kind of put it inside of the actual, because most games it's a separate mode. You got story mode, it's single player. and you go through, you play it, it's great. But you guys are doing something a little bit different and unique, where those elements are inside the match. You got to go into PvP.
Yeah, that was the idea.
Yeah,
because like the thing here is that when you do that as a separate campaign with a separate like mode, like players are going to play there. That's okay. That's an option. But we always wanted to give something for players inside the game. So they are playing Battle Royale. They're playing like our game Extraction Royale, and during that phase, you can be successful in the XR or not. You can extract access or not, but you always will be able to progress through the narrative campaign. That is kind of like a thing that you are doing in parallel. It's a thing that changes how you are playing the game. Not everyone will killer machines, which are like destroying everyone, right? This is a thing that, for me, exactly like as an example, I am playing games like that. I'm trying to find a constant new goal, and that is exactly what it gives for everyone. So yeah, like I see that as a very good rewarding experience for players to do something in parallel, something not only kill everything that it moves, but something meaningful.
Right.
I just want to add something that you just mentioned, that it's a great way to return back the existing user base. But for us, as we found out, it's a great it's a great feature how to retain the newcomers much better, because according to our stats, 23% of all new users who install OTG complete the second page of the narrative campaign within the first 24 hours. And the retention rate of these users is just mind-blowing. So this is why, since the launch of our narrative campaign, we, I would say, addressed this amazing result with our marketing teams, and all new OTG ads, they feature, and I would say they sell the narrative campaign to new users. So this is why we're, by the way, making another demo. We're making another update tomorrow. I don't know if you're aware, which will improve certain features related to the narrative campaign. But for us, it's a very, very important feature how to improve our metrics and bring them to the next level with newcomers.
Yeah.
And I would say that just another insight that for us, as we've been always, since the launch of the game, we've been always aiming for actually to become the direct competitor of titles like Fortnite, Apex Legends, Call of Duty. And this is why we're thinking every second how to bring OTG to the same metrics as these games.
Right.
This is why the newcomers, the new users, I would say this cohort of users is our number one priority.
No, and that's a good point. You know, I always thought about this, it brings people back, but you're right, retention for new players is big as well, because these are things that people really, truly love, you know? Everyone, there's a lot of PvPers out there, but there's also a lot of casuals that love that style as well. And did you guys ever play DMZ? You guys ever play Warzone DMZ? Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, this is a little reminiscent of that as well, right? So you kind of have this narrative kind of campaign is set inside that world, and I love DMZ. I really enjoy playing it, and I was kind of surprised the way things went there. But you know, I love the fact that you guys are kind of going that direction, taking some of these really great elements and incorporating them into Off the Grid in a way that makes sense.
My only dream with DMZ was to actually use my items, and by the way, it was a part of our inspiration to use items from DMZ that you could extract and use them in the main battle royale.
Right.
I always felt, you know, a huge gap between two games, and by the way, I love this game mode a lot, and even though we came up with our idea of our extraction mechanic much earlier than DMZ was released, but it's a great, still a great game, a great inspiration for us.
Yeah, well, it's like the evolution of what they were doing is kind of how I see that. You know, DMZ was kind of the first step, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it, but maybe they didn't get the results that they wanted to see. But I think because of that disconnect you're talking about, that probably was a big reason why, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Could be a mistake. And something what I would like to add to Dima's statement about the narrative campaign for us, the the big idea behind the creation of the narrative campaign was to influence the gameplay of other players who even do not participate in the narrative campaign, right? And randomize their gameplay experience much more with an additional movement of players towards certain aim, right? This is something what we tried to show the whole world with our the very first reveal of OTG gameplay, which we revealed with several major well-known influencers like Dr. Disrespect and others. This is what we tried to show from the very beginning.
Sure.
By the way, it was an actual gameplay, and I just want to one more time repeat that all of the streamers actually played the game. Even at this stage, it was a year and a half before the release of the game.
Yeah.
But
it definitely looks different from then, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We've made a lot of changes, come through a lot of trials and tribulations. I feel it. You know, we have a lot of features and releases that are upcoming here over the next couple of months. You know, something that maybe we don't see all the time in gaming, but we see a lot in crypto for sure. Are we going to see like an actual roadmap that you guys are going to release here that's going to give us, you know, dates for features and upcoming stuff? Like, hey, here's our roadmap for the next 3 months and what we're doing. Because I feel like that might help satisfy a lot of the existing community of their questions of like, hey, when is this coming? What are we doing? Because there's always kind of that disconnect with the community and communication. Are you guys, have you guys considered doing a roadmap?
Yeah, so like we're definitely looking at it in general. The problem here is that like one thing is to have a roadmap internally, and it's a completely another thing to release it and be true to it, and then not change it, because like we are constantly evolving. We have new data all the time. We are thinking about new things all the time and trying to change the game to a better shape, to a better direction. So we are right now changing the way how we are working in a lot of areas, and one of those will be communication with everyone effectively. So we want to have better feedback loop. We want to talk to community. We have released already, like, so our update of the game was more informational, like with me and Hunter, game director, presenting that. We have released things like devlog from about in-match economy, where we're describing not only the statement that like that is what we are doing, but why we are doing, what is the idea behind it, like what was the purpose of this particular feature and how we're achieving that purpose, and so on. So that is a very big step for us in general, and I hope the community appreciates that. We are really trying to expand on the general community knowledge about the game. We, from some specific moment, we understand that no in-game tutorial will be able to explain everything in our game, every limb, every combination.
Even though we tried, all right?
Yeah, we tried. Like, believe me, like we tried. Right?
That's why you guys got me. I'll take care of it. Don't worry.
By the way,
yeah. So like everything, like movement, mechanic, things like that, that is impossible to explain in any like 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes,
thing,
like things. Yeah. So we want to work with community to create this, like blob of knowledge, to bring players, even new players, with already some understanding about OTG, or someone who already played the game may know more about that. That's why we started like ambassador program and things like that. So like in general, we want to work with the community. We definitely want to have roadmap. It will be there. We just have to figure out how to do that properly, how to be 100% sure about what are we doing and like what are we releasing and showing to community. Because we have like millions of experiments, our like OTG events, OTG twists and things like that. So definitely we are really looking into that direction right now.
Yeah, I mean, roadmaps are hard, man, but here's the play. Here's how you do it, right? So you release a roadmap with all the things and the dates, and then you blow past all those dates and deadlines, and then you and then you just revise it again. And that's the play. I mean, right? Is it right? I mean,
totally doable.
It makes it easy, right? If you structure it that way, Makes it totally easy. I mean, that is the hard thing about roadmaps, is that people then have expectations based upon a certain date you've given them. But I mean, I would almost rather have a company submit a roadmap and put it out there and say, here's what we're going for. If we miss it by 3 months, okay, just let us know. Versus letting us know nothing. And never really having any kind of an idea of when it could be. Like, soon. Is soon 1 year? Is soon 1 month? I don't know.
We are working on that. We will drop, we already dropped some information about our next updates in this interview. Probably will drop a bit more. So that is kind of like small roadmap, you see. But we're definitely working on that. Like it's interesting for us to understand what is the community sentiment about what are we doing and how are we doing. Are we prioritizing proper things and so on? We're definitely interested in that. So
it's good. Yeah, I mean, like it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah,
we're gonna say that.
I would also like to add something to this subject. We of course have the detailed roadmap for the next, at least 6 months. The reality is, because we're a very data-driven company, and because we implement new features almost every week, we adjust our plan, right? We adjusted to have the shortest route to the, best performing users, to the largest number of active players, and to the game success. This is why we started to move towards this direction, to provide a very transparent, let's say, not roadmap, but at least a plan for our community, with the devlogs, which Dima mentioned, with our ambassador program, because at least our most recognizable voices in OTG can spread the word about our plans. And we will, of course, make it public, this plan, as Dima mentioned, but we really, really need some time to strategize better about
how to release it.
Which we need to prioritize, right? Because there are so many questions which the community discussed again and again about ranked mode, about solos, but there is a plan towards each feature, and there is a cost per feature, and there is a end result which we're getting from each feature. And we're at the stage when we cannot afford to plan the development of our features or services just based on what we find cool. Unfortunately, we have to know in advance and define in advance the exact result which we're getting, which will keep the company profitable, which will, let's say, entertain the audience the best. Yeah, just wanted to give some color.
No, and I totally understand that. Like I said, a roadmap is a hard thing, and things change day to day so quickly, so I totally get that. Okay, so look, guys, now we're going to jump into some questions about the game itself, something that people have been asking for forever. When are we going to get a true ranked mode? Not just skill-based matchmaking, but an actual true ranked mode. Go.
This is why I have Dima here.
Yeah, I will be answering everything about the game.
Uncomfortable questions.
Yeah. So ranked mode, yes, we know about that. Very complex feature. It's not only just parameters and that's it. It's not only about tiers and benches. It's about building the whole infrastructure, the whole system that clearly defines player skill level, which is working properly, which is dividing players into specific cohorts, and then at the same time we should have great matchmaking times. Everything should be smooth, and there should be no difference, no changes to what we have right now, right? So that is one thing, but also you have to understand there is very big another issue with ranked mode. Ranked mode changes how people play. They are thinking differently. From the moment you turn on ranked, you're playing for the win. You're not playing for fun. You're playing for the win. That is a very unique way of playing the game. In order to introduce ranked, we have to also figure out the way how we are going to help players who want just to play the game. Because there should be some alternative to play the game without ranking and all that stuff. We're thinking about that, and that's like why it's taking time. But believe me, working on that, ranked is already in our plans by the end of the year.
By end of the year, okay, that's great. So December, yeah, like we talked about with all these big feature releases here coming towards the end of the year. Yeah, and I understand that reasoning because you don't want to alienate your casual player base. I think it's a big thing that we see a lot of games, tend to do sometimes, where it's like, well, who do we focus on? The pros or the casuals? The consoles or the PCs? And it's a tricky balance, man.
All the time. Yeah, you have to do all of that, right, at the same time. You have to also help casuals, also help new players, also help pros, and everything together, which is quite a work.
No, I know. So that's like I said, I'm glad you guys are working on it, that you understand that there are some caveats there that we need to address right now. Bringing all this kind of together with some of these recent questions. One of the things I think that might help with all of this is bringing back solos mode. When, sir? When do we get solos mode back? So many people ask about solos mode, man. I get comments on my videos all the time. People are asking in the OTG companion app. They're asking on X. They're asking on all the social. Are we gonna get solos mode back before a final release, or are we gonna we're just gonna sunset it until December?
So. I'll probably answer this question. It's difficult to answer to this question to you, first of all, because you're a huge fan of this mode. But I would make several steps back before I answer this question, reminding how important the new users for us, just giving a small hint, and reminding that everything what we do currently, we again, plan all our actions based on data. And we've always been a data-driven team, which focuses on keeping the game modes live, the game modes which perform the best. First of all, as for the newcomers, as for the existing audience. The current lineup reflects what our analytics show. And again, what our analytics show as the best performing setup for us, for newcomers. And believe me or not, but the reality is that the previous setup, when we had the trios and the solos available simultaneously, even including other game modes, performed again not as good as it performs right now for newcomers. And when users somehow saw several game modes, the second game mode, solos mode, available, some of them entered this game from the very beginning, and this action decreased their D1 retention, their D7 retention. I know it sounds ridiculous, but this is the reality. We're not just making these decisions because I'm personally a huge fan of this game mode. So we even planned in several iterations, made this game mode available for players at certain level.
Right.
But,
yes.
And that's what we're planning to keep active in OTG in future. Okay. And this is how this game mode will be added. But this is another insight. I don't know, maybe it will be useful for other developers which are working on their projects. But for us, when it's very important which game modes the newcomers will see and play and try within the first several matches. And the current setup represents the best, let's say, setup for us, performance-wise, metrics-wise.
No, that's interesting. So, I love the fact that it is data-driven because I think that's incredibly important, especially in today's markets, right? I'm a little surprised to hear that like something like Loadout Ladder or something would perform better than solos mode. But I do understand.
It's ridiculous, but this is a reality.
No, I know. Yeah, no, that's something. But I do understand the new user experience and not letting new users get access to that mode right away. Something, and to think about that, I mean, that because what you want them to experience the game in its basic form first, in its base form, and then split off from there. So, like, what if you guys
collaboration with other players?
Right, exactly. So what if you guys made that part of the narrative missions that you had to like unlock that somehow through a narrative mission, right? And that way you're kind of bringing the whole thing in. Then like, oh, well, there's an actual reason for solos mode because this narrative mission gave it to me and I have to go in solo now because of this narrative mission, and only certain narrative missions are in solo mode, but you have to play the game a certain amount and get to a certain level to unlock those things or get to a certain mission level. I think that would really tie a lot of these elements together, right? Well, why do I have to go do this specific thing? Why is loadout ladder important? Or why is, in these other ones, that we're doing the different modes, how do these incorporate? Are they just things we're just throwing out there? Or do they actually have some sort of relevance to the game? And similar to what we talked about earlier with like DMZ not having a certain relevance, there's not that connection. I think having that connection would be really good. So something to consider, adding it to narrative modes for the unlock would be kind of cool.
By the way, we have the same plan as you mentioned, but it's not tied directly to the narrative campaign, but to certain activities which you need to accomplish before this game mode will become available.
Yeah. I already see the wheels already turning in Dima's brain there when I said that. So I think we're going to see that feature maybe pretty soon.
And something what I want to add that every day we complete several A/B tests with our users. So different cohorts of users, different users from different countries, they may see a different and interact with a different experience inside of the game client, right? They can see buttons placed in different locations. They can see different game modes available. So the only way how you can progress with a live service product and make it successful, you just need to quickly learn, make mistakes quickly, improve your experience quickly, and increase the level of excitement of your users daily with running this test and look only at numbers. Because after you release your game, let's say the main visionary in your company is your data analyst, which provides the data and shows you, which gives you the insights and hints about where you should place your step next.
100%.
Also the busiest person.
Also the busiest person, right.
With a
this is our favorite person with Dima, and we always, we're always cannot.
We are fighting with Vlad for attention. Let's be honest. Like, is it about business or about game or business? All the time, literally.
But
I mean, you might be fighting an AI agent pretty soon, so we'll see.
By the way, there is something. So what I would like to add, and I think that Godzilla innovates in this field because we have the whole department of people who are looking at numbers, right, and analyze connections between certain activities, and this is how we progress with all of our actions. But we already implemented our own AI platform, which analyzes all of the data inside OTG, and we are working on, and we already made it available for the whole team, for game designers, for engineers, for live service team, to basically chat with our AI and let's say ask the simple questions and not very simple, and basically, the system can even build very difficult charts, which help departments work and progress within their tasks, and let's say come up with new ideas and suggestions about how to improve the game. That's based on the data, and just simple chat without using analysts in the company, which is always busy with so many requests. And we have the AI department inside Godzilla, which works on this task. And I would say that this is the future. I really believe that understanding your users and understanding the data is the main competitor's advantage today. So 100%. If you know the data and understand the data better than anyone else, we found unique connections between user actions, which I would say would never come up to certain analysts' brain so fast as the AI.
Without seeing the actual AI.
The main, I would say that the main, the most difficult part in implementing this technology is that AI doesn't understand the variables of your data inside of your database. And the most important task is that basically you need to educate AI
correlate them,
with analysts. So when our game designers, when they use the AI, they usually they usually use the analyst to complete certain requests, and our analysts they help to educate the AI and explain which variables in our database mean. What do they mean, right? And next time the AI responds to these questions much better. So I truly believe that this is the future of, let's say, of the progress in marketing your game and in improving your game.
Right, 100%. And obviously that's something that only your team has access. But 1 second, hold on. Hacking your systems. Okay, do we have access? Okay, no, I got denied. We'll try again later. Okay, look. Now moving on. Let's move on to a couple of crypto-related questions here. When it comes to OpenSea and OpenSea game item sales, we're seeing royalties right now all going to one wallet. 5% of royalties from OpenSea going to this one wallet, but they're supposed to be rewarding node holders. How are you guys? What are you guys doing there? Because I'm a node holder, man. I want them royalties. I'm not getting anything right now. So what happens? Is there disconnect or something, or like, what's going on?
So the wallet which you refer to, this is a smart contract which collects all the royalties and then sends them directly to node holders. And by the way, this data is also available in NFT Validator's dashboard, which is called Hacker's Dashboard. And you can, again, you can interact with their dashboards and you can find the data about the resellers' fees, which you earn. The NFT validators can do it from OpenSea trades. It's already live. It's already available. And the NFT validator holders, they earn already commission, their resellers' commission from the trades completed using OpenSea.
So those commissions are still being they are actively being sent to holders, even if that account is not on mainnet. Okay. All right. That's great. Yeah. Because I think that was a little bit of confusion there for some node holders that don't understand exactly how that works with OpenSea, and like they think like, oh well, it should be going directly from OpenSea to someone's wallet, but you got to have that kind of intermediary contract, right? That's going to distribute all those things openly. Now, when it comes to OpenSea, one of the things we've noticed is that we have multiple platforms, multiple items coming in. How do you guys plan on dealing with the difference in serial numbers for those items that are selling on OpenSea?
Honestly, this is something what, again, we have the monetization team and which handles these difficult questions. So I would actually ask this question. I would ask them to provide the answer on this question. We can do it offline, and we can send it as an additional answer directly to your report.
All right, so this is something that you guys you're planning for. It's not like, oh, we didn't realize this was happening.
100%. Like there were designs for that, and like everything is already prepared.
Okay, yeah, I figured that's the case, and I think that once again, this just kind of comes down to like, we don't have a roadmap. We don't see how these things are happening. We see things happening, but we don't know how they're going to end up. And so it puts a lot of speculation out there in people who are trading in markets, and there's a lot of uncertainty around those things, I would say, right? So, item scarcity is a really big factor when it comes to a game like this, a crypto-enabled game. How do you guys kind of plan on controlling scarcity factors in the future, right? We have like all these common hexes. What do I do with all of them, dude? Do I burn them? Do I just let them sit there? I got hundreds. What's the plan, man, for scarcity and stuff coming up?
Wait for it a bit. We are preparing some quite big changes.
Patience, Stash. Patience.
Wait for it a little bit. Yeah,
we're preparing quite big changes, like in hexes and like how they are working, and items in general. This won't be like a one big change. It will be a list of changes over the next several big updates. But by the end of it, like when it's there, you will notice it. Let's say it this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those things are big, man. What's that? Yeah.
Very carefully.
Can I say that there will be a button which is called unlock them all?
Decode
them all.
Probably. But that's not what I was talking about.
Open all button is great. I mean, that's a great UI improvement there. Like hit one button, open every hex. Because I'm not gonna lie, man, I have over 1,000 something hexes that I've never opened, and at this point, I'm just like, God, I'm just opening all those hexes, just hitting the button a bunch of times is gonna be hard.
We got requests from players and received plenty of emails where players, they actually coded and used clickers on their PC. Just
like 1,000 is the rookie number. Let's be honest.
But by the way, the reason why actually we didn't launch our game initially with this button, because the first days and hours our infrastructure was overloaded because we couldn't, we were not ready.
Optimization
for let's say certain for being overloaded in the areas in some new areas for us, and because the hex decode again at this moment was fully on chain, and it created huge pressure for us and for the infrastructure. This is why there was no button, but now we're fully ready. We made plenty of improvements in our infrastructure, and this is the moment when
that's cool.
Very soon add this button, which a lot of our users, even do not expect, but to appear so soon. But
all right, perfect. I mean, open all is great. Here's my vision. I'm gonna lay it out for you guys. Like a hex burning mechanism, right? Where you got 10 commons, you can burn 10 of them to get one uncommon. You got 10 uncommons, you can burn one, that to get one rare, right? I mean, I think something like that where you have a way to reduce the overall item count of maybe hexes themselves unopened, but also maybe items too. Like, hey, burn 5 uncommon, limbs or whatever, and get one, or one rare hex, right? So I don't know. I think that would greatly help the game and kind of those elements of scarcity, right? When it comes to the actual NFTs or the items in the game. But it's great that you guys are actually planning for that and you have some features that are coming.
Believe me, we are planning for a bit more than that.
Perfect. I like it. I saw it in your eyes too, and I was like, "Ooh, it's gonna be good." All right, look. Now, I will say for all my Australian friends, I gotta ask this question: Are we gonna see? Are we gonna see the new server come back? I mean, right now we see servers in US, servers in EU really active. We don't really see much going on in the PAC region, right, or in South America, which is huge. We want servers there too. I know we did. We got a lot of South American players as well. Are those going to be like reinforced and more push in those directions, or are we mostly focused on just US and EU kind of thing?
It's a great question. And by the way, we have presence in South America and we have local servers there. I want to say that for us, as we're planning to have a very bright future, it's very important to start with the most profitable and the most profitable regions from where we're getting the best performing clients, our players. This is why the majority of our marketing campaigns, they're focused towards the acquisition of new users in Europe, in the US, and tier 1 countries, basically. In the US, Canada, Australia, Japan. Japan, we're not very focused on Japan right now, but usually people refer Japan to tier 1 countries. I would say that for us, we try to do our best to get the best ROI on each dollar we spend on marketing right now. And currently, this ROI performs the best in Europe and in the US, Canada, Australia. So Asia and South America, unfortunately, right now, they do not perform as well as the regions I mentioned before. And they require more love and more adjustments to continue the aggressive growth and recognize the proper monetization levels which we're aiming for in this region. So basically, for us to spend budgets to have higher CCU in this region, but let's say make us earn less than when we spend dollars in Europe and the US. Currently is not a part of our strategy by the end of this year.
Gotcha,
Though
okay.
we of course promote OTG in these regions, and of course we will be much more famous game in Asia and in South America in future. And of course we're planning to scale our marketing in these regions by the moment when we release the full experience of OTG, the full game, and when we're ready for it. So we're trying to be very efficient, very effective in everything what we do. As I mentioned, we have the local presence for our infrastructure in South America and in Asia. So just it's all about the marketing campaigns, which are not as active there as they are in the US and Europe.
Right. And I mean, it makes sense to wait to ramp those things up until full release, right? If you're not seeing good results. Once again, data driven. You know, that's kind of been the theme, I think, of this interview, is that every move you guys are making is data driven. It's not just some random thing that they just decided today. People are always asking, like, why do they do this? What were they thinking? What moron came up with this?
And when people think that we're just stupid, you know, that we're not bringing back souls or doing other decisions, but we always look at the stats first and then make the right decision.
Except for the guy that does the cyber limbs development. That's the only guy that is just off the rails. I don't know what the hell he's doing. But everybody else, data driven.
Best decision ever for the last like several months. Literally best.
The best. I love it. All right, look. What were you gonna say, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention an example about where we put a lot of attention, right? So, for example, with our AI platform and our, let's say, research of our of already collected data, we found out that the first limp, which the newcomer, let's say, picks up and utilizes during the gameplay, has a huge effect on his retention, and has a huge effect, and let's say makes a huge effect on the conversion to the second match and to the third match. And after we analyzed this data, we understood that if we put in certain loot crates a specific limp, which has higher retention rate for newcomers, we can retain players better. We made it. After reviewing the data about limbs, we reviewed data about weapons, and we understood that if we let users shoot first from a specific weapon, you can see a chart of weapons, and some weapons are so much more disappointing somehow for players than the others.
Right.
If you create a new account in OTG, you will see that the first experience for newcomers is
different.
What you experience.
That's
so
pretty
we
cool.
let you play with certain limbs, with a specific limb, which you will always utilize somehow first. The same story will work for you for the weapons. And this is an example because when you launch the game, you first of all, of course, increase your metrics for 10% here, 10% there, right? But after a year of being live, you fight for half of percentage in certain areas. But when you combine 10 fixes like this one, you can increase the overall retention and the metrics of your players a lot.
That's
and
great.
That's what we're waiting for. So you cannot imagine how much time we actually analyze data and playing accordingly.
No, that's super insightful.
Is that, like, it is not connected to any like meta damage or anything. It's like it's never connected to like what is powerful.
It's just how it feels.
Something.
Yeah, it's just how it feels to play it.
Like, how to use it, how to feel it, how it looks, and everything together. Somehow combined in this like this is
magical way, right? Yeah. I mean, well, and that's I think player preference too. Okay, so what is the best retention limb? What is it? Which one?
As far as
it's a grapple, Dima. It's a grapple hook.
It's what?
Javelin and grapple hook. That was like the first like
Jav and
no,
grappling.
Dima, it was cloak arm and it was a grapple hook.
There are like different ways of calculate that. I mean, like
I like that you guys are fighting. Which one was it? I don't know, man. We're gonna fight over this shit right now, though, dude.
Like let's say we had several sessions with Analytics team about that.
Sniper rifles have the worst retention rate. So if users collect the sniper rifle first, it's going to affect their retention.
Sniper is
the
worst.
It's all about this first feeling,
yeah,
which you're gonna get, and this is why I came from the world of making consumer apps, right? Again, it was something where I had plenty of experience of creating my own businesses in this field, including one of the largest entertainment mobile apps for gamers. And in mobile apps, you can make changes so fast, and there are not so many screens which you can change, or buttons or effects. But in the game, imagine in how many fields you can innovate and create the feeling. And this feeling, this is why they're paying for the feeling, right? Mm-hmm. They're staying for the feeling. And in the game, there are so many areas where you can influence on the creation of this feeling, that this is why it takes time. This is why it takes so much time to make a proper game and make a successful game.
No, I mean, I love that once again, data-driven element to the game, and like actually putting in there like, hey, we understand which limbs we want new players to kind of find easier first, because it's going to give them that really good feeling and make them want to come back. I mean, retention is what games are all about. If you can't analyze your retention and understand how to really keep players around, they're just going to go to the next game. And I mean, because there's always another game coming out, right? So I think it's a hard thing, and I feel like you guys are on the right track with that, even though people may not see these things. But that's why an interview like this is so important, because this is what the community wants to hear, man. They want to hear these cool things that you guys are doing behind the scenes. They're going to help to make this game be the most successful shooter that has come out in the last 5 to 10 years, right? So I appreciate you guys.
We'll never cool down until we get there.
Yeah.
We have no other choice.
Yeah, like all gas, no brakes. All right, look, you guys have answered all of some of the very important questions that I myself and the community in Off the Grid have had over the last few months. I got a couple fun ones we're going to end with here. We're talking about cyber limbs. What's your personal favorite cyber limb to use, and which one do you hate playing against? I want to hear from Vlad first. What's your favorite cyber limb and the one you hate playing against?
My favorite arm would be, I would say, I would choose Gorilla Arm. First of all, because of course you can use it for your movement a lot, and for So for the arm, it would be Gorilla Arm.
Are you talking about Slam Fist? You talking about Slam Fist? Yeah, it has to be Slam Fist because there's no Gorilla Arm technically, so maybe that was an early dev name, or is that a new arm coming out that we don't know?
Actually, it was always the dev name, and I always call it like this.
It isn't like we have a huge confusion,
but we change it to Slam Fist. I always make mistakes in
Oh, that's all good. Slam Fist is one of my faves too, man.
Games for 4 years before the release of the game, and then Neil decided to change them the last moment.
I'm gonna start calling it Gorilla Arm from now on. I'm not ever gonna say Slam Fist again. I'm calling it. We're changing the name back. Damn it!
I can give you some other names.
Screw Neil. Screw Neil.
Yeah.
We're going back to Gorilla Arm.
Javelin is micro missiles. What else?
You love Jav?
The same. Yeah. So there are a lot of them. I mean, it's just like Defiler is Paralyzer. I'm not sure exactly which one is the release name. To be
I also
don't know those two.
Right
so one of them is release name, one of them is a dev name. I'm not exactly sure which one.
Look, guys, I'm going to invite you to play some of your own game. Here, you guys want to play a match with me? We should do a match together and go through it. This would be a good trio right here. I'll carry you guys. I'm not that good.
completing the narrative campaign, by the way.
Did you?
And Dima as well. And Dima decided not to play with me because
he's like, this guy
crazy.
sucks,
like,
man.
I played this campaign so many times eternally that like it's hard to play in live, but like it's interesting. It's really cool.
Yeah, but you play with a bunch of noobs. You play with a bunch of noobs, man. You need to play with a veteran. All right, come on. It's a different experience.
Like I want to.
About the limbs, because my favorite lags, again, for the gameplay, I always choose mirror breakers. And I don't know if you're aware, because we haven't promoted it properly yet, but our limbs now, they have passive abilities and perks. And I think it can be an insight for the audience. You can find you can find more info about these features just in the game meta, in the game lobby, when you read the description about each limb. But for example, if you remember mirror breakers, they can create 3 illusions, right?
Yeah.
But now mirror breakers increase the speed of your movement. And your illusion, again, the illusions which they create, they also make 10% of your damage, which your character makes when your character shoots to again. Which
they also helping you like in that direction.
Numbers, it's 10%, right?
I do believe yes, but like I'm not exactly
now
sure about balances.
Now these illusions, they make damage. And this is why, for example, for Paralyzer or Defiler, we have this brain damage with the names of the arms after all these operations. The passive ability of this arm now is that you can see the loot crates behind the walls. And you need to spend some time exploring other limbs because plenty of them have this passive perks and passive abilities now.
Brand new. Now that's something that I don't think anybody knows about, actually, man. That's once again, here's my evidence that the limb guy on the team, bro is out off the rails. I don't know what he's doing, but I love it. And I'm excited to jump in and test some of those changes out. Yeah.
Awesome. And you'll feel that with mirror breakers,
mirror breakers OP. They're already OP, and then now you're making them more OP. God, I love this game. It's great.
It's already for quite some time though.
Yeah.
But like this last change of bus killers, when they're like hovering by your side and flying with you, that is like, that's crazy. Like that's one of my. I'm not a big fan of min-maxing and like using the meta and everything, right? Yeah. But 2 bus killers with leapers with shotgun, it's like something.
That's what that's gonna go to my new loadout video right there. Double buzz killers plus leapers, and like, dude, they're just gonna follow you everywhere, and you just got triple guns the whole time.
If you hate jetpacks, 2 javelinas, and
yeah,
no one is getting away.
Oh man, I love that you guys are kind of jumping the meta there too. So all right, last question I have for you, and we're gonna wrap up this whole amazing interview. When was the last time you crazy mofos went on a vacation? You have been hustling for years now, not till launch. 5 years? Wow.
Yeah, and 5 years in a crazy beast mode. When you do nothing in your life, then building the game, because it's impossible to survive in this market, right, without working like crazy and bringing it to I'm talking about the overall game development market, because there are so many talented developers. There are many AAA developers with significant budgets, and we always acted as a startup and tried to, even though we have hundreds of employees, but we tried to be efficient. And still, with 100 million plus budget, it's so difficult to compete with, with the companies which have thousands of people on the market. And we still believe that we're in the very beginning of our path, and we have a big dream in our hearts. And I think that I want to, highlight that the reason why Dima is also in this interview, because he plays a huge role in the game and in the creation of the game, and influences so many features. And for him, this game, again, as for many other Gonzilians, and as for me, this game is his baby, and he definitely spends day and nights to make it the best experience. And I just want to say that we're very hungry. We're very hungry to see our game in the list on on Steam charts, on other different metrics as the most popular game among battle royales. And we will never stop and never bring our attention to any other ideas until we get there. And this is something what I wanted to add from my side. And Dima, do you remember when did you have vacation?
I tried.
I don't remember.
At some point, I was like, nah.
He's like, I gave up on vacations years ago.
Somewhere.
That was staycation. You stay at home and you work and you just don't do anything. But just
Sometimes,
work.
yeah.
Staycation.
Sometimes, yeah. But like you just work, yeah. Just like you work for 1 hour less, maybe.
I get it. Yeah, there you go, man. A little staycation, 1 hour a day. Well, hey, obviously you guys are incredibly dedicated. Thank you so much, Vlad. And thank you so much, Dima, for jumping on here and answering all the questions that, like I said, everyone has wanted to know. We got almost all the answers we needed. I didn't have to use the blowtorch too much. It's great. I mean, a little threat's good, but I didn't want to have to actually. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to burn someone's face. Well, once again, thank you guys so much for joining me here. We got all the questions answered. I love it. Hopefully, you guys out there, all you agents, learned something today about Off the Grid, and you're hyped for the December release. But that is all we have for today, agents. As always, this briefing never happened. Secret Agent Stash, over and out.
Secret Agent Stash.